going to say.
Don't boo him. Don't boo him.
Coming from the Church of Pinky and the Brain. Yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I was going to do the, real introduction. My name is Richard. I'll be your moderator this afternoon, but you guys know why you're here. Let's get into it. Please welcome to the stage Pinky and the Brain, Mr. Rob Paulson and Maurice LaMarche. Bring him up on stage. All right, so for those of you that don't know, Pinky and the Brain was a cartoon that was out a long time ago in the ancient 1990s.
Now, wait a minute.
Hey.
Define a long time ago.
I said ancient 1990s.
All right.
It was a part of a larger show at one point called Animaniacs,
yeah.
and the show and the segments. The segment became so popular that Pinky and the Brain got their own TV show.
That also happened a long time ago.
And then they got the questionable spin-off Pinky, Elmira, and the Brain.
Which happened
and that's
not
why we
as
never,
long ago, but
right.
could have been longer.
And that's why we never heard from them again. Right. But no, Rob, Maurice, thank you guys for coming. How you guys been enjoying MomoCon so far?
I hate everybody.
Really? Yeah.
Oh no, it's Mo and I.
Like, how many times have you just yelled out, "Freaking nerds"?
Oh man, never. I'm telling you, it is a really remarkable thing. It never fails. Atlanta is particularly lovely, but I have to say that every time we go to one of these things, it's just mind-blowing and fills our hearts with such incredible joy and humility. Thank you so much. It's incredible.
I don't hate everybody here. Just Rob Paulson.
Yeah, he hates me. That's all right. He's pissed off because I'm really the smart one.
That's right.
So let's get into that just a little bit. Let's talk about the origins of how you.
I'd rather talk about pop music.
Really?
Pop music. Talk about
K-pop in particular.
A song from a long time ago.
Yeah, they love K-pop around here. So
yeah.
But no, talk about the casting choices as well as your vocal choices. Rob in particular, what made you decide that Pinky was English?
Well, Mo has mentioned this before, but both Maurice and I were, and still are, huge fans of British humor. We love the Pythons. We love Derek and Peter Cook and Dudley Moore, and the Carrey On films, and Tony Hancock, and just so many great British comedians.
You're a big Goon Show.
I'm a big
guy.
Goon Show. Peter Sellers.
I was not as big a Goon Show guy. I don't know why, but
yeah.
Peter
Sellers was my spirit animal, and so all those guys and ladies who were very influential to me really inspired me to create other stuff kind of outside my own little mental box. And when the audition for Pinky and the Brain came around, that was not the only audition I submitted, but it was one of them. And I think the word got around, as I recall, as you so clearly made it so clear, it was an awful long time ago, that it was sort of a fait accompli that Maurice was going to be the Brain for obvious reasons. He's, just particularly brilliant. Yeah. And so I thought this might be an interesting choice. And it was a number of auditions. As you know, Pinky and the Brain were ancillary characters around Yakko, Wacko, and Dot, like the Good Feathers, of which Maurice was one as well.
As far back as I can remember.
That's right. Yeah. So
I always wanted to be a good feather, but it was a long time ago.
That's right.
Nice god pigeon.
That was Chick Venera, right?
I was the god pigeon. Yeah, it's the Chicky did.
Chick Venera,
double
John
duty
Mariano.
as Pesto and the god pigeon.
And two of the three of them were real Italians.
All three of us, because I had my ancestry
23andMe?
I had my ancestry DNA done, and I'm 45% Italian.
No shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, isn't that wacky?
Oh, well, in that case,
That's crazy.
I hope you greaseballs don't get offended by that.
Hey,
No, so anyway.
It's like the N-word for them. Don't do that. It's like the N-word for them.
To make a long story short, after several auditions later, Mr. Spielberg, in his infinite wisdom, decided to give me a job, and for some reason he thought that the chemistry was not an issue between Mo and me because we'd already been fast friends, but the the vocal qualities, and I think the way the show is written, Pinky and the Brain, it's a desperate love story.
Shut up. They don't see it.
I'm
Shut
not
up.
paying attention to the.
They don't see it. Shut up.
I have a drinking problem, and I'm just realizing it now.
I have no problem drinking.
Yeah.
So, how about you, Mo? How did you get the job?
How did you get the job? Well, I'll tell you. I put in a good word for you
Thank you.
the day before. No, I got the job by looking at that picture and having the temerity
Well, that's a $100 word.
Yeah.
that they had created a show just to build around my irritating Orson Welles impression.
Oh,
I saw the mouse
beautiful.
and went, "Oh,
It's Orson
Welles."
Yeah.
Because Maurice, you had used that before on Tiny Toons, right?
I had used Orson Welles, but I just for me that was my sound check. That was when when we were testing the mics, everybody else would go 1 2 3 1 2 3.
Every show
and
we
I would
worked
sit
on.
down and it held everything up terribly. But
Yeah, but we
they
loved
didn't
it.
know how to stop me, but I'd just do. We know a remote farm in Lincolnshire where Mrs. Buckley lives. Every July, peas grow there. Do you really mean that? And I do the whole
Love
5
that
minute
so
thing.
much.
And they hated me for it. But I thought that they thought, well, let's build a character around that. It wasn't based on me at all. It was based on Tom Minton, who, if you look him up on
pretty remarkable.
Google or
Yeah.
check him out on Facebook, his face is the Brain's face.
It's quite
Yeah.
astonishing.
So, but Tom sounds nothing like Orson Welles. And I didn't know that. Had I known that, because of my propensity for imitating absolutely anything and everything, anything and anyone I hear, I would have done Tom Minton. That would have been my default, and I just going to go next, because Tom is an interesting man with a very uninteresting voice. And he talks very, very much in a monotone, speaks very quickly,
Yeah.
and can equals MC squared. And but so anyway, so I just did Wells, and they tell me, by they I mean Andrea Romano, that they just cast me on the spot. First edition of the day,
Oh, wow.
Boom.
9 a.m. I got there, first time I was ever on time. 9 o'clock, read the Brain, didn't score anything else except for Squid. Squid the pigeon, but I mean they just knew they wanted me for the Brain off the bat, and villains. Antagonists.
Yeah.
The
Yes,
the
from the,
catchphrases "narf" and "yes" were those your touches, or were those in the script?
No, as a matter of fact, they were. I'm sorry. Yes, they were in the script. They were. I did not improvise that. I think you kind of came up with the yes always, didn't you?
Well, no,
because of the frozen peas.
Didn't you improvise Traws though?
I guess so. There were several point, jaws, nerve, all those things.
I thought you did.
yeah.
I thought you did Zort backwards. just
Could have been.
on your own. I thought you improvised the Traws.
I could have been.
I don't know.
I don't recall. I know that a number of the non-sequitorial responses to "Are you pondering what I'm pondering?" I and others improvised a number of those, and we still try to come up with them because they're so much fun to come up with something that means nothing.
Please tell me you did Jimmy Crack Corn. Like,
I did
even
not.
if you didn't,
that I
tell
think
me.
was one of Gordon Bressak's, as I recall. One of them that is mine is, I think so, Brain, but culottes have a tendency to ride up on me. And then a recent one, I did two recently. Would you ask me, Brain?
Pinky, are you pondering what I'm pondering?
I think so, Brain, but if Anne B. Davis and Susan B. Anthony, who be Arthur? And there was also, let's see, I think so, Brain, but if Lawrence Green and Betty's White, is Marvin Gaye? So it
that
never
wouldn't have flown
stops.
in the '90s, but that might actually fly.
I was
today,
just about
actually.
to say, yeah. Were there ever any instances where you guys are looking at the script and you're like, "There's no way in hell Standards and Practices is going to let us say this," and it just got through anyway?
Well,
Standards and practices were different back in the
Yeah.
90s. I mean, I had a damn. I said damn in an episode. I said to Roddy McDowell's character, Snowball, "You were always so damn dainty," and it's so. First of all, it's impugning his sexuality, and second, it's using the word damn. And in 1990s primetime WB, that was quite risque at 7 o'clock. So anyway. But S&P they left us alone pretty much.
Really?
we got a couple of fairly subversive ones through on Animaniacs. I mean, the fingerprints.
The fingerprints, yeah. Oh my God, yes.
It's a big deal. Yeah. But no, I mean, and it was not gratuitous anyway. This was ostensibly a kids show, and when I say kids, I know I mean that in air quotes because it was purposely written not to condescend to the audience and to appeal to grown-ups as well, a la Rocky and Bullwinkle and Looney Tunes. And the proof, I think, is in the pudding. And 20 years later, this room is full of really nice people on a Sunday afternoon, and most of them have watched Animaniacs on Netflix, and it's doing great numbers on Netflix because it is a really great show that stands the test of time, like Rocky and Bullwinkle and Looney Tunes. They're watchable now, and they're made in the 40s.
Now there have been talks of possibly bringing it back.
Boy, from your lips to God's checkbook.
Oh my God, wouldn't that? Yeah. Guys, would you like that? More Animaniacs and Pinky in the Brain?
Thank you.
Well, they'll watch.
Yeah. Well, stranger things have happened, you guys. This is Reboot Mania.
It really is.
There's, it is a business. It's called show business for a reason. They know what's going on, and I've had the good fortune of getting 2 rides in the Turtle van, and the fact is that Viacom owns Turtles, and they've done a couple of movies, and they've done the most recent TV show, and it sells a lot of action figures. So they understand that the people who are 8, 9, 10 years old, whose parents bought them action figures in the 90s, are now in the position to buy action figures themselves. So stranger things have happened. The cool thing about Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain was, though, that those shows were really excellent shows that stood on their own. There was very little merchandise sold with respect to both of those shows. Well, relatively.
Yeah, I remember like a McDonald's
the Brain
deal.
walked a lot.
Yeah.
That was the action, just walking across the lab. There's not much you can do with an action figure
In-action
with the Brain. It's
figure.
not like, it was more of an inaction. Very good. You should be on the radio with that top
so.
stuff.
Okay, so I have to ask, between the two of you, what was your favorite plan to try to take over the world?
When I tried to take over Christmas, and then Pinky showed me the spirit of Christmas love, and so I took over the world for 30 seconds and told everybody to have a Merry Christmas. People don't realize that. They say Brain never took over the world. He actually did take over the world in that episode. And what did he do with it? He spread the gift of Christmas love. So thanks to his friend Pinky.
Yes. All Brain wants is the best for everyone. Now, that was a fantastic episode. In fact, that episode beat out The Simpsons.
Beat out The Simpsons for the Primetime Emmy in
yeah.
1998. Yeah.
It is a
96,
really
96.
That really is a great episode.
What about you? What was your favorite plan to try to take over the world?
I like the one. Which was the one? Oh, I think because we're down yonder. I love Bubba Bob Brown.
Oh, it was my favorite.
Man, that thing is that right, baby? You like that show? That thing done kicked my ass 6 ways from Sunday. I know. I say it, man. It kicked my ass 3 ways, up, down, and continuously. No, man, that is a killer episode.
It's a great one.
Mo gets to sing his little book.
I was about to say, do you still remember the song?
Yeah, sing that song.
Okay, wait.
Okay,
do enough of you remember the song that if he sings, will you sing along when he gets to the part? Not at all? Okay, I don't give a damn.
All right, here it is.
Go ahead, all right.
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama.
Neocortex.
I am a lab mouse. I escaped from my cage. Never had a job. Never earned minimum wage. But you will respect me, yes. Once my plan is unfurled, you will call me your leader. I'll be king of the world.
Oh, I love that.
Now, Pinky. Now.
Thank you.
My favorite my favorite aspect of that episode was how Pinky just so guilelessly kept forgetting the name, and just
Hey, God, Baba Lula.
it was just, but he wasn't doing it to irritate. He just kept traveling, and I don't think he was forgetting. I just think he thought it was fun, and Brain getting so irritated at it, and the self-injury that kept occurring to the Brain in that episode. Every time he walked through a door, he was on the stilts. He'd smack
Whap.
into the door jamb and just be like, yes. Oh, that's a pain that's going to linger. And I just love the idea of this just him just getting beat up by his own hubris.
Yeah.
You know.
And then that was the one also where there was a caricature of Dolly Parton and all of her with these giant
Are you
mammalian.
sure it was a caricature, Pinky? I looked actually a little under
It
exaggerated.
had these giant mammalian protuberances.
Yes.
And what was it you said to her? Puberty.
Yeah, no, I would say puberty's been inordinately kind to you.
Puberty's been inordinately kind to you.
That went out on TV for kids.
I love that. I mean, that is just so great. The fact that I know that there were people sitting and watching that with their children going, holy shit, they're making a joke about Dolly's boobs. That's great. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to thank my mama and Elvis.
That's why we love y'all down here.
Were there any plans where you were like, you know what, this might actually work, or all of them just
was the one
completely
about
ridiculous?
With Joe, who was it that just died with the water rising to the level?
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I actually went. First of all, it was, a little before Al Gore.
Yeah.
We sort of
Global warming.
tipped the hat to global warming, and what was his name? It was the guy who played. Oh my God, I love him so much.
He played Mo Green.
He was Mo Green, and
The
he was
Godfather.
Al Floss in the famous Teddy Z.
Terrific character actor. I'm so sorry.
Oh, we
At
love
this
him
point,
so
somebody
much.
could have Googled
He just
it by
died
now.
last year.
I
He
know.
was like 87. It happens, you know. She was.
We're not going to go to that bummer Pinky and the Brain panel, are we?
Right, yeah.
All they do is talk about actors who died because it was a long time ago.
Anyway.
So yes, the global warming
Yeah,
plot.
the
you were
global
like,
warming one.
yeah.
We're brain. Well, it's actually brain warming, and brain decides to melt polar ice caps and flood every city to the 23rd floor, and he bought all the real estate above the 23rd floor. So, and that's one where I was kind of glad to see them get theirs, because I was like, hey, come on, most of our plans are harmless. This is
Alex Rocco.
Alex Rocco. God bless Alex Rocco. Oh.
Oh.
Is that you?
Yes.
Oh my God, it's an Irving Berlin song.
This is my
Wife?
This is my ringtone for my wife.
Wow.
Hi, Robin.
So everybody say hi to Robin.
Hi, Robin.
Isn't that nice? She says, hi, everybody.
Isn't that great?
Hi,
Molly's
honey.
married to the
I'm
most
kind of
beautiful
talking in
woman.
front of like 1,000 people. Can I call you back after? All right.
No, apparently you
All
can't
right, I
call
love
her.
you. Okay.
Bye, Robin. See
She still wouldn't let me off the phone. So it's just one more little thing. she
Right.
had to tell me.
That's marriage, ladies and gentlemen. It's marriage. Speaking of that,
I just always felt like that's the one episode where we had a plan where people could actually get hurt.
yeah.
And
Oh,
so
yeah.
I felt like, when they get kind of beat up in the spaceship at the end of that one, I was like, good for them. They deserve it. And then I realized them is us. And you have that, though. You have that separation. I guess maybe it meant that we were doing a good job. A separation of the characters from yourself. Like, I watch Pinky and the Brain episodes now, and I actually don't think about what I was thinking in the, when we were in the studio, and, when I said that line, I was actually wondering what kind of, burritos there were going to be for lunch or whatever it is. They actually become real to me, you know?
Great point.
And so that's...
We can look
that
at
doesn't
them-
happen with every show.
No.
But with Pinky and the Brain, those little guys became quite real to me.
Yeah, and it's interesting now to be able to have a career, and we're, as I mentioned earlier, we utterly get how incredibly fortunate we are, but it's kind of cool in the fullness of time to look back, and you can be really objective about your work in these things, and obviously we sometimes say, I wish I'd done this, or now I've learned more about my craft, I'd do this differently, I'd try that. But all in all, it was a really good show. It was beautifully written. The timing was fantastic. The relationship between Pinky and the Brain, irrespective of how much I love Maurice personally, it really was a fantastic relationship, and it worked on every level. And that just proves to me the genius of Steven Spielberg and Tom Ruegger and all those guys, because they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And it's good for a reason.
Yeah.
Back up for just a second. You said that you and Maurice are friends. Was that something that happened because of the show, or were you guys friends?
We were already buddies, and we really respected each other in terms of our each other's comedic gifts. You know, I always found him funny and so on point, and the sharpest knife in the drawer. Like, really, he's always right there with an improv or a bit, finishing a joke and start.
How's that for a funny joke?
That was very funny. I like it. A couple people with some very, very enhanced startle responses I noticed there. So we've always had that, and finishing each other's sentences and stuff like that. So, you know, for us to get to work together intensively on this show, though, was really something. We met on Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
That surprises me so. Look at your hair. Your hair is the same color as my name. I love that. You're like a beautiful chia pet. No, it's so it kills me.
Now, are you guys laughing because that's a funny name, or because you've heard of the show?
I've heard it, yeah.
That blows my mind.
I always thought that was a really obscure show.
Yeah, Saturday, Fox Kids, dude. Yeah, Attack, absolutely.
Yeah.
That
But
dog
that just
tomato
blows our
thing.
minds.
Yeah.
Anybody knows that show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of have it in the obscure column in my head, but I guess a lot of people did watch it. I mean, it was a great cast. We had John Astin,
Wow.
Yep.
who was almost Pinky, by the way.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the first day of auditions, they thought their best Pinky of the day was John Astin, and then Rob came in the next day and ruined it for him.
I had him killed.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, no, John played the character in the movie.
In the movie
and
that he played, on the cartoon.
And
yeah.
on the cartoon
Yep.
show. And you know, Tom Bray from
I know who that- yeah.
from that boat show with Perry King, the show where they're detectives and he's a nerd.
Riptide.
Riptide.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm on it, baby.
Yeah, Tom Bray was great. We had Neil Ross. We had some great people on that show.
So
a lot of fun.
So since you guys are friends, is there like a friendly rivalry? Let's say when Rob landed the Honda commercials as Mr. Opportunity.
Let me wait. Hang on. A
Okay.
second.
Well, okay. Go ahead.
No. First of all, more than likely not. It is. It really is a mutual admiration society, and I have to say it's like that with a lot of our respected friends, Billy West, DiMaggio, Tress. You know, we really do adore one another. And Maurice, I would say, virtually always gets cast for something different than I would get anyway. But in terms of the car thing, yeah, I was Mr. Opportunity for 7 model years at the year-end clearance, right? Maurice spent 7 years as the 24/7, 365 voice of Lexus.
Lexus, yeah, that's that guy. Yeah. When you hear Maurice, buy a Lexus.
Yeah,
Well, as of March, they've rebranded, and Minnie Driver is now the voice.
Minnie
of Lexus.
Driver has a car commercial.
It's all good. It's all okay.
Yeah, so there was no rivalry there.
Although it is interesting that she's Minnie Driver, you would think that the Cooper the Cooper campaign would have picked her up first. You know, then it would be a little, you know. Now,
I think so, Brain. But can Minnie Driver see over the dashboard?
I think.
Nailed it.
However,
I'm
if she
such a
had a sister named Alexis,
Nice.
then Alexis Driver, then they should have hired her.
She's a Lexus driver.
I
There you
think
go.
so. Anyway, it was a good 7 years, and I'm grateful to the Toyota Motor Corporation for the work, and God
did a
bless
great
you.
job.
And good luck.
Absolutely.
And buy the 2017 Lexus GS. Once driven, there's no going back. Experience amazing. Sorry, that's their new tagline.
Isn't that cool?
Look at that. I'm
Yes, it's
auditioning to
great.
get my old job back from up here in front of you guys.
Yeah. Getting into some of the other projects that you've done, Maurice in particular, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions about a little show called Futurama.
You watched it. You can't unwatch it.
Gunderson nuts! So when you got cast for Futurama, was the casting director just like, hey, do you like screaming? Because a lot, especially with Morbo and Lur, like
Well,
that's
I actually did not make the cut until episode 2. I initially thought when I heard they were going, they were recording the pilot, that I guess I didn't get it. Oh well, but they had a different Fry and a different Leela for the pilot, and they realized that very talented actors, but they'd cast the wrong people. So they moved Billy up into being Fry, and they thought to themselves, if he's going to be so busy being the main character of the show, we're going to need another utility voice guy. So they brought me in. I got grandfathered into the show, so
Right.
episode 2 on. But yeah, I've always been that guy that I'll beat myself up. I'm that. I guess I'm that. The hero child who will do anything.
Yeah.
In the family to keep the family together. So if there's a voice that needs to be screamed or growled, I'm Morbo the newscaster, or I'm Lur, ruler of the planet Omicron Persei 8. You hear the difference, right?
Yes, absolutely.
They are very different people.
Rob, I wanted to ask you, one of the cartoons that I became a fan of yours was when you did The Mask.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
And so when you were doing that and kind of taking over Jim Carrey's, kind of essence, as it were, how much of that was you doing an impression of Jim, and how much of that was putting your own personal Rob stank on it?
My own personal Rob stank on it. Well, I've shaken so many hands this weekend. All of you have a certain amount of Rob stank.
Yeah.
It's a rather nice stank.
I'm
enjoying it.
We need Febreze for the cosplayers. Let's after that second day, man.
Thank you. Yes, it's like I'm walking in a human petri dish.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking. First of all, yeah, I certainly Jim was the prototype, and I was trying to do Jim Carrey, but of course, during I think we did 2 or 3 seasons of the show, and after about the 4th or 5th episode, there were, as you can imagine, because we were on the heels of the success of the film, there were folks on the other side of the glass. I'd do a line, and they would say, "That's great, Rob." But in the movie, Jim does, "That's great, Rob." But remember when Jim did, and finally it was Tim Curry, God bless him, who said, "My darling, they should not be telling you to do it like Jim." And I said, "Well, Tim, I'm not Tim Curry, and I am grateful for this gig, but I knew what he was talking about. And it didn't make me angry. It made me frustrated because I wanted to do a good job, but we're trying to do, if we did 3 seasons, we're talking about 39 or 40 episodes of trying to do something that Jim Carrey did for 2 hours in a movie. And that is, Jim Carrey is Jim Carrey. I'm not going to take his gig.
Right.
But the point was that at what point do you guys let me do what you hired me to do? And I have to say, I had a very brief conversation with them and said, look, I totally get it. It wouldn't be the first time I've been replaced. But do you guys want me to put more money in the meter? Or you just got to let me do what I do. And I get that you want Jim, the essence of that. But if you want Jim, it's going to cost you a fortune, and he's not going to do it. So you guys hired me, and I'm happy to do it, but you got to let me try my thing. And so they said, well, why don't you put your stank on it?
No, they
And so there was a very famous man who asked me if I'd, in fact, put my stank on it. And so I did, and they were great. And the best thing about that show, though, was the fact that I got to sing the theme song for that show.
I remember.
And that was supposed to be sung. I did the demo, and it was supposed to be sung by, I don't know if you guys know, a fantastic trumpet player who used to be really famous when I was a kid because he did a lot of the music from Schoolhouse Rock, and his name is Jack Sheldon. And is a phenomenal talent. I think he's still alive. He must be in his 80s now. Yeah. But just a really incredibly gifted player. And Jack Sheldon was supposed to do that opening theme because it's real jazzy and just an incredibly great arrangement. And I did the demo, and Judy Price, who was the head of CBS Children's Television, called me in my car. And she said, hey, I just heard your demo. Why don't you do it? I think you're really smart, Judy. You should be head of CBS Television Children's Programming.
If
So
for no
I did
other
it,
reason, you got to sing the words "Drive By Wedgie."
Yeah, it's a killer song. It really is. If you guys, honestly, it's a great arrangement. I mean, I sang it well, but the killer bit of it is a children's show. Just look it up online. It's just the mask opening theme, and it's a fantastic arrangement. Great horns, just a great lyrics, crazy hip lyrics. Very cool. Thank you for asking.
You're very welcome. So I wanted to ask you both a little bit about your personal lives. Your spouses, are they just sick and tired of hearing your voices? Do you ever get your wives just like, just talk normal, damn it?
Maurice will be able to answer this with literally a sound. This is the sound our respective wives make pretty much every day when we do what we do around the house.
And I actually, I actually incorporated my wife's sigh into Kif. Kif Kroger. Kif Kroger's sigh is the nice lady you heard on my telephone. Anytime I pretty much open my mouth with a brilliant idea or even a counter to one of her brilliant ideas, she just goes, ugh.
Says a sigh is worth 1,000 words.
Right. A sigh is just a sigh.
No, it's listen. Both of our respective wives, I think, deserve a medal for. It's a double-edged sword, We pick up the tab for pretty much everything. So.
Right, yeah.
But they have to, they've raised two lovely boys,
yes.
My son and Jonathan, Maurice's son, and they've done a remarkable job with that.
I just realized we both have just one
Yeah, that's
son.
right, one son.
Each.
And we are both very incredibly fortunate to have women who are supportive, but also will tell us when we're assholes. The difference is that we go to work and we get paid to be. When we get home, we can't be assholes. Yeah.
Speaking of which, your kids, how did your kids kind of respond to what it is that you do? I know they're both adults now. Rob, I saw that your son reviews video games.
Yeah, my son Ash he's going to be 33 years old. And it was kind of funny. He got married almost 2 years ago, and I forgot what. It was something, there was a little child involved in some party we were at, and my kid said to me with his new wife, he said, "Oh my God, what a ton of work that must be." And I said, "Dude, when I was your age, I had a 4-year-old. And he said, "Fuck." And I said, "Yeah, exactly." So, no, he's doing well. His name is Ash Paulson, and he reviews video games for Game Explain. He is just got hired to produce an animated feature, associate produce an animated feature. He's not an actor, has no desire, never had a desire to be an actor. But I think he would tell you he had a good time hanging out with his old man. And I remember I took him to Comic-Con for the first time when he was 8 years old, and we were premiering Animaniacs. And it was pretty cool. And he had never been to Comic-Con, and nor had I. And it is a remarkable thing. Now, of course, it's 160,000 people. That's why this is perfect. Everybody is delightful. And everybody's delightful at Comic-Con, too. Don't even get me started about how much I appreciate how wonderful the fans of conventions are. But this is a nice size. You guys, right? Yeah, I think a lot of you get it, too. I mean, you can go to the bathroom. It's not a big deal. It doesn't take forever. Seriously, the logistics of being at a convention can be nutty. If you get to Comic-Con, you walk in that door, man, and before you buy one freaking action figure, you drop one large for one day between staying at a dive for $400 a night and parking for $50 a day. It's crazy. So anyway, my son came with me, and I remember there was a guy going into the bathroom who was dressed like Dracula, a big 6'8" guy, skinny, had white makeup on, and he said, "Daddy, I have to go potty." And I said, "Well, go to the men's room. I'll wait out here, and he said, "That Dracula is going." And he did. He walked in, he turned around, and he said, that man is going there. So go up next to him and see if he pees blood. So my kid got a kick out of that, but I promise you, this is what happened at our house a lot, especially during Ninja Turtles. When Turtles really took off, my son was about 8.
Oh, wow.
So his old man was Raphael. It was really cool. The following happened all the time. The phone would ring, "Hello," and this is my son picking up the phone, "Hello." "Oh, yeah, hi, Jason." "No, he is. No, he really is."
Dad, do the voice.
Why would I? Yeah, no, hang on a second. "Dad, Jason wants to talk to Raphael." "Hey, Jason, it's Raphael. Yeah, dude, try a hot fudge marshmallow tuna fish and Doritos pizza. Turtle power!" And then my kid, "Yeah, I told you." "Yeah, later." Click. That happens.
Does that still happen? Do you get the dad do the voice calls?
Oh, I get all the time friends of mine.
Yeah.
My little boy. Or now, my 35-year-old is having his Ninja Turtle birthday party. Would you call him up? Because, oh yeah, no, that happens all the time. We
Yeah.
all get asked to do characters on the phone.
What about you, Maurice?
Same thing.
Well, obviously, I was hoping for an amusing anecdote wherein your child exploited you.
Well, no, my son actually was teased in middle school because he kind of bragged that I was Toucan Sam. And
37 years.
and the school bully kind of came down on him and said, "Your dad is Toucan shit." And he was so upset by that. He's very
Well, that's
sensitive
because
guy.
his dad is an alcoholic.
Yeah, probably. We actually found that out. Yes. No, Jonathan, my boy, is he's going to be 23 in a couple of weeks, and he is a musician. He has no desire to act either, and yet he's been in several videos. He's got a great sense of humor. He's actually a natural. It's a shame he doesn't act.
He's really handsome.
He's a
Oh my God.
good-looking young man.
Oh, it's crazy how handsome this young man is.
And but he's a guitarist, a bassist, and a singer, and he's been he toured with
Great talent.
Yeah, he toured with the late Christina Grimmie in Europe just a couple of years ago, and they were the very dearest of friends. And he's her death has hit us all very hard. She used to be at our house 2-3 times a week. They'd rehearse in the garage. So he's taken a little time to really process and grieve, and he's getting back and he's writing songs that are just sounding terrific. But he doesn't have that thing to do voices or anything like that. He likes to use his voice to create music. When I was a kid, the one thing that happened was I'd start to read him a voice, and read a story in a voice, and he would say, and he'd be like 5 years old, and go, "Dad, could you just read that like a regular dad?"
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a few questions from the audience.
Yes,
As you can see, there are mics. Start lining up with the mics.
Yikes.
That didn't take long. Wow. Okay, first question. Go for it.
Hey, fellas. Is this working?
Yes, it's working. You're going to hear
working.
yourself. It's going to sound
come-
weird.
come
Get as
right in
clo-
on
Yeah,
it.
get as close to the mic as you can.
Eat it. All right.
Yep.
So I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about what it's like working on Rick and Morty and what Justin and Dan are like.
Well, the first time that we all had our very first day working on the what was the title of the episode?
I forgot. You meant the dogs?
The dog episode.
Yeah.
And you have the best first line of any character. Like the very first thing you say as your character.
Where are my testicles, Summer? They were here when I left. Oh my God, I love that. When I first read that line, I thought, now you're talking.
And I played like the accountant, the dog accountant for when the dogs finally, dominate the world. And I read, I had one line and something like, "Sir, you can't possibly sustain this kind of expenditure for your." And when we were done,
Yeah.
I asked Justin. I said, "Okay, so I thank you very much for the job. I didn't audition for this. You just called me in. May I ask what it is about me that made you think I'd be a good dog accountant?" And he said, "When I was in high school, I've always had a Jones to draw, and I had a fantasy that one day, a dream that if I ever got my own TV show. I loved watching you and Rob Paulson and Jess Harnell and Tress McNeil so much. I swore to myself if I ever got a show, I was going to work with you guys." And true to his word, he used all of us in that episode, because I saw Harnell on the way out. He was walking in. Rob had just been there, and Tress was coming in later. And he has used one or many of us in just about every episode of the show. He keeps trading us off. He likes me for like officious characters. He likes me for generals. He likes me for half Abraham Lincoln and half Adolf Hitler. Aberdolf Linkler. He likes me for a lot of those characters. And it's just great. He's an incredibly creative guy. He laughs more than any other show creator I've ever worked with. I mean, he's
so
just
talented.
Just has a great time in the booth, laughing his ass off as we read. And then he's never critical. He never says, "Nah, that's not it." Just goes, "Okay, good. Now let's try it another way." You know, and he just invites you to play, which is the best way to treat an artist. And you know, he gets the best work out of us. I love working for Justin Roiland, and he's just an all-around great kid.
I just wanted to ask another question really quickly. You tell me a little bit about your downtime. Like when you guys are legitimately friends, so you guys like hang out and barbecue and stuff together. Like and you've mentioned Billy West a couple of times and Jess and all those guys. Do you guys just?
We tend to go. Even you've been over to my house a few times.
Yeah.
We've shot a couple of things at the house, but we tend to go out. If we go out for a meal, we tend to meet somewhere halfway because we live quite far away from each other.
Yeah.
We meet for a meal. Certainly when we're on the road, we always make sure to grab a steak together, catch up. You know, and we're lucky. Our work is play.
Yeah.
So when we see each other to work, we're not looking to like, oh God, can't wait till 5 o'clock. We can go and grab a couple. You know, it's like we're having fun while we're working, and you know that may not be fair, but it's the way the chips fell for
interestingly,
us.
too,
You know?
when my son was growing up, he used to come to work with me a lot, and my son's friends, his regular friends, and then you guys would show up at my kids' birthday parties.
Yeah.
There were a lot of times at my kid's 18th birthday party, Maurice, Frank Welker, Tress McNeil, and I remember his buddies come in, and Mark, Mary Lou, and Chelsea Hamill were at my son's 18th birthday party, you know, so his buddies are like, is that Luke Skywalker? And my kid was like, no, it's the Joker. So, matter of fact, Kevin Richardson and Jeff Bennett, they used to say, God, we really wish you'd have another kid so we could go to birthday parties. Yeah. You know, so no, it really was. We got used to have incredible, it really is a bunch of lovely people, and we've known each other for longer than most of the people in the front row have been alive, and it's a purely joyful experience.
Yep.
Next question.
Hey, this is for Maurice. This is more of a request than a question. Could you do a certain line from the Critic as Orson Welles?
Yeah.
I'll just say it involves peas.
Rosebud. Yes, rosebud frozen peas, full of country goodness and green penis. Wait, that's terrible. I quit. All right, just a handful for the road. Oh, what luck. I found a French fry in my beard. Did I hit the line?
Perfect.
I think that's the whole speech. Yeah, okay, great.
Great job. That young man was so happy, man.
Question for both of you. If you could take your voices from Pinky and the Brain and swap them with voices from other characters you voiced, who would it be and why?
You mean and put them into Pinky and the Brain?
Yes.
That's an interesting one.
I think Kiff would be an interesting brain.
I think Carl Weezer would be a good Pinky.
Yeah. I think if that's the case, then it'd have to be Hedonismbot. Oh, Carl?
Yes.
Are you pondering what I'm pondering?
I think so, Hedonismbot. But if Jimmy cracks corn and nobody cares, why does he keep doing it?
You're getting close, dear boy, but...
Me and Pippi Longstocking, I mean, what would the children look like?
Thank you.
It's a great idea. Thank you.
A question for both of you. How was it doing that bit with the Nostalgia Critic where you guys split up?
Oh,
We were...
with Doug Walker.
With Doug Walker, yeah. I don't know. we were as apprehensive
We kinda
as
got
we
a
were in
little-
the video when we were playing apprehensive. When we got a hold of the script, what was it? I looked at it and said, should we really do
I
this?
know, we did, and we were a little bit, and this is not, if Doug sees this, because somebody's videoing it, we love you, Doug. We felt afterwards, we kind of thought, did we get ambushed a little bit?
well, yeah.
But we totally did it. We could have said no.
And we knew his reputation,
Right.
and we thought, well, he's not like
We own
somebody
it.
just pranking us, So he tells us it's for something that's going to be part of a bigger thing, and it'll
Right.
make sense. So we do it. Then somebody leaked the footage, just the animated footage of Pinky and the Brain swearing at each other. And it got a lot of play, but there were about 10% of the remarks of the comments were, gee, I wish I hadn't seen this. You kind of ruined my childhood. Yeah. And I felt awful.
Yeah.
Rob didn't. He has no conscience. He's a psychopath. But I...
Screw him. Give me your money and shut up. That's what I said.
Respect.
And then he released the whole thing, which was the
context was better.
The context was better. It was the what's the name of that movie? The Purge. And so in the context of The Purge, he realizes he has to go back in time and it all starts with Pinky and the Brain. He's got to go back and ruin their friendship to undo the alternate future that The Purge exists in. So that's why we're there doing it. Then it makes perfect sense. But many were hurt on the way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hey guys.
Hey, pal.
Hey, I'm curious about something behind the scenes of Pinky and the Brain. So there was an episode where you guys had to do tongue twisters one after another, all performed
Gordon Bresser.
flawlessly. But I just want to know, did you collaborate with the writers on that?
No.
Or did they throw
We
in-
hit the writers on that. I went into the control room and actually punched Gordon Bressak in the arm. Just like Lucy does to Linus in the Peanuts cartoons. He's like, I ought to slug you. Boom. I got so stuck on I forget which line it was. I think it was Kicky Sack. Kicky Sack, Sock, Cocky Pick. I don't know. Still can't do it. But no, that was a total surprise. And, they hired as the boss of the plant, the Kicky Sack plant, they hired an actor named John Moshida, who at the time was famous for a fast-talking Federal Express commercial and was known in the Guinness Book of World Records as the greatest fast talker in the world. And he was
Micro
terrific.
Machines guy, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was terrific, but even he blew a couple of lines. You know who blew the least lines in the reading? Pinky. Yes. And I couldn't get through the damn thing to save my life. I mean, we got it. We finally got usable takes, but
It was a really great script. Was it Charlie and Gordon?
Gordon Bressak and Charles.
It was a
Charles
great
Allen.
script. If you watch it, it's called You Said a Mouseful. And you can find it, I think, on YouTube. It's probably on Animaniacs. I don't know if it is or not.
I don't know if it's on YouTube. I know that you can download all the Pinky and the Brains on iTunes.
Right, but it's really clever.
And we make money if you do that. We don't if you go on YouTube.
That clip is on YouTube.
Don't go on YouTube.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, okay, thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Is that your shirt say Teenage Mutant Ninja Squirtles?
Indeed, it does.
Thank you. My God, you're so pretty. Thank you for wearing that shirt.
Oh,
Bless your heart.
you're pretty too.
Thank you.
This
I'll tell
question-
you what, if I were 25 years younger, you'd have to take out a restraining order, honey. And there are a couple of cops here, too. That man's right there. He got a badge. Don't mess with him. He's going to teach you something. I'm going to beat you sideways. I'm going to give you a 5-knuckle introduction, son. That's what he said to me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, this question's for both of you. As voice actors, what's the most important skill in your repertoire that you can use to make a character seem three-dimensional and entertaining with just the sound of your voice with a few lines?
Oh, my God, she's smart,
You
too.
have a wonderful... I'm guessing you are looking for a career in voiceover.
What? Yes, maybe.
You have a wonderful voice. The quality of your voice is fantastic. You don't have to do any work on it at all. Your enunciation is terrific too.
Very
So
great.
here's what I'm. My thing is play the relationship. Always play the relationship and the want of the character. Figure out what the character wants and who is the other person he's talking to him. And those are the two things that I most work on in voice acting, because it's acting. It just so happens I'm not waiting for hair lighting, makeup, and to find my key light and hit a mark. My mark is in front of a microphone. So I get to work more closely on all the other more important stuff about acting. Voice acting is a very pure form of acting, and that's my process. Mr. Paulson?
I'm as dumb as a box of rocks. So, no, honestly, what has really helped me, I think, is I've had a lot of acting background. I was a singer first who became a stage actor, and then I moved to LA ostensibly to do live action and was doing that. But my stock and trade, what has helped me the most is my improvisational skills, coupled with, as Maurice said, acting chops and learning about relationships and respecting them, and social situations of the characters that you're trying to flesh out. But the ability to not be encumbered by how I look and my size and shape and face and has been always been a very helpful thing for me in terms of my work, to be able to not worry about looking like a complete idiot, because it makes you unencumbered. It allows you to swing for the fences. It allows you to not be in a position where you say, I don't know what that sounds like. Well, it's a talking avocado. Yeah, but what does a talking avocado sound like? Well, dude, if you really know, then you're probably going to be in therapy. But that's the whole idea, is to say, oh, okay, great. And I never say no. I just like to play. And then it's like anything else, you do it over and over and over, and you get your 10,000 hours in, and you become an expert, and then you say, okay, now I got another 10,000 hours, and I hope that I don't stop getting good at my gig until they put me in the ground. So that's the great thing about it. You can do it till you die. And you can do it for the noblest of reasons, which is because it makes your soul happy and makes others happy. None of us started doing it for money. None of us. Now we're in a position where we have to make money because we got mortgages and braces and things, but we were not driven by the dough. We were driven by the passion. And that is the secret of life. My kids, my friends, I got to tell you, everybody listen to me now. Wow! I'm telling you, you guys, if you can find something about which you're passionate, follow it. If it makes you money, great. But it will make your soul happy, and that is a big deal. So good luck to you.
Doors of the church is now open.
So much.
Next question.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
One of my favorite stories to come out of the show is Pinky and the Brain and Larry, and how that came to be.
Yeah.
Could you go into that a little bit and how it came to be?
Why is it one of your favorite stories?
Just because I love the story of how the notes you got and the constraints it put on you, and how you kind of took that and used it to create this.
Oh, so you're aware of the
episode.
backstage story then?
Yeah, but I want to hear your.
Oh, okay, all right then. Because as a Pinky and the Brain cartoon, I think people who don't know the backstory kind of look at it and go, "What was that about?" But that was the point. What was happening was, at the time that the WB, they were looking to spin it off into a primetime show, and the WB had all these notes about making the characters more, bringing in a larger cast of characters, making it like a family, like The Simpsons. There should be more talking mice. There should be this whole, and the writer's response to that was to go, well, let's just bring in a character that has no business being there.
Yeah.
Larry from the Three Stooges, and of course. Billy West, we knew, did the greatest Larry Fine impression from all of his work on the Howard Stern show. So, and Billy had just moved to California, which I think was part of the inspiration for doing it, was we've got Billy West, Billy's here. So they wrote Pinky and the Brain and Larry to show that the chemistry is absolutely perfect between Pinky and the Brain. There doesn't need to be a Larry, which is why Larry kept popping going, "Hi, I'm Larry." And I don't know what's wrong here, Pinky, but I do know one thing. He's the Larry. And the Larry kind of became synonymous with any network note that messed with the chemistry of Pinky and the Brain. Having said that, they went ahead and created Pinky, Elmira, and the Brain. Thank you.
It's Pinky and the Brain and Larry.
Yeah.
And Larry.
And Larry.
My name is Larry. Yeah, that was great. Thank you for bringing that up. That's cool.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
First of all, I want to say I'm just having so much fun sitting here with my eyes closed, listening to you guys talk. It's just the most amazing thing.
Oh, thank you, sweetie.
This may not be the most exciting question, but it's something that I definitely am curious about. I had heard a fan theory based on the opening song where it says one of them's a genius and one of them's insane. that Pinky's really the genius of the group, and that, you know, there's that episode, The Smarts, when, you know, they do the smart machine, and, you know, Pinky really it shows himself to be the genius. I mean, I just wanted to get you guys' personal opinion on it and what you think. And
Well, that's why they call it a theory. Yes. What do you say, Pinky? My point proven. And so, no, it's funny. There have been times in the show, like there was one episode where they showed Pinky just levitating, levitating some fruit with his finger, with using his mind, and Brain is going on and on about the plan, and he turns around and sees that and goes, Pinky, have you always been able to do that? And do what, Brain, or whatever?
I forgot what I said.
Yeah.
What? What's that?
Hmm?
Yeah.
Comes and goes. Comes and goes.
Yeah, and he's like levitating fruit.
So, it's what there is. Even the writers played with the idea that Pinky had a unique genius. Certainly, he was the one who always saw when the plan wouldn't work.
yeah, he always was the one.
And if you look at insanity as the way they do in the 12-step programs, the definition of insanity being doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, you could actually call Brain insane. But it's not that he's not a genius, because he's able to figure things out to the 1000th power, and he's all these huge formulae. So he's obviously quite smart, but he's also a little nutso to think that can happen.
I think Pinky was smart. I mean, if nothing else, he's a talking mouse.
Yeah, that alone puts him in a separate category.
He's a talking mouse, and he's got Tourette's. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, sweetie.
If you had to expand the president's...
You gotta get closer to the mic. We can't hear you. There you go.
There you go.
Tip it up towards
Yeah, get some mic Viagra. Get it up.
If you had to expand the president's song to
Oh, the
encompass
president's-
the president's song.
Yeah, I didn't write that. Randy Rogel wrote it, but Randy wrote most of the stuff. But thank you for thinking. No, no, I wrote everything. Yeah, I wrote everything. No, the Randy Rogel, who wrote that song, has in fact written, added in the new presidents. In fact, Randy Rogel and I are doing. We got a licensing deal with Warner Brothers, so we're taking the music of Animaniacs around the country and doing it with orchestras and symphonies around the country. It's pretty freaking cool. It's great fun to see those songs. In fact, let me do this.
Maurice, will you be doing the Brain song?
Yeah, we're going to bring Brain with us.
Well, so I'm tentatively, we're looking for a date that I can fit in, that they can fit me in and have some Brain music for me. So
Nice. Just
some Brain music. Yeah, so Randy did write. He has added the new presidents, and you can be sure if we do an Animaniacs reboot, there will be new songs written about new stuff, and probably the Kardashians and things like that. Thank you for asking.
Next question.
Hey guys.
Hi.
This one is kind of for more of the, like I've noticed Maurice is kind of voicing minor characters in the newest Disney movies, like he voiced the father in Frozen and
Zootopia.
the god.
You mean the Mr. Big movie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the one with all the other animals in it, called Mr. Big, the movie?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, Zootopia. I'm just, how are you? What's your experience like with the just like the more modern Disney movies or the more modern?
Yeah, what's it like getting that mouse money, son?
Well, he's actually an Arctic shrew. Mr. Big the Arctic shrew is the most vicious mammal known to man. If you take 5 Arctic shrews and put them in a cage and leave them together overnight, when you come back, there'll only be one alive.
Yeah, and it'll be Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're terrifying. It's a lucky thing they're so small. I loved working on both those pictures. Disney has the luxury of a ton of money and therefore time. So we reworked the Mr. Big sequence over a course of like 5 months, and it was a late addition to the action. When they decided that it was going to be more Judy's story than Nick's, which was a big turn. It was originally a Nick story. they had to flesh out more stuff. So they added the Mr. Big scene, and he started out actually being quite vicious. And little by little, they softened him and gave him more jokes and humor. So we were able to keep coming back, but it was definitely a tribute to The Godfather, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, right down to the set piece of it and, the designs of the... I loved when they brought in the little chair, Kevin sets the chair down. It was great. So as in terms of a creative experience, it was very, very rewarding in that Rich Moore is a very creative guy, and Jared Bush and as well. And it was just really great to be in the room with them and just spitballing lines. And we'd remember things from The Godfather and throw them in, and it was great. Really, really terrific.
We only have time for one more question.
One
ladies
more
and
question.
Hey.
Hey.
Whoa, that's loud. Hey guys. First off, you guys are awesome. I basically grew up with you. I think I speak for a lot of people here when I say that.
Thank you.
I just had a simple little question, similar to what somebody asked earlier. Do you have any advice for aspiring voice actors in terms of getting your foot in the door, getting started in the industry?
Learn to act. It's about acting. No, I'm trying not to be a smart ass or coy. It really is, although I'm predisposed to that. It really is. It's about acting. It's not about a funny voice, and it's not just about the funny voice. It's about having the voice come from somewhere. And the reason that folks enjoy the work of, it's at risk of sounding arrogant, of Maurice and myself and Tress and all the people you love and all the people, some of who are no longer living, is because they were really terrific actors. But again, we've been around the block, man. We've been doing this a long time. Now, by the time that Pinky and the Brain came on, I'd been making my living as a performer for almost 20 years already. And it is a lifelong ambition, irrespective of whether or not you make money, because as I said earlier, it's about just doing something about which you're passionate. But the best voice actors are really good, solid actors. They're great improvisers. They're fearless. They'll try stuff. They have no problem taking a punch and saying, "Oh, I didn't get that one. Let me work on these chops. Here are my weaknesses. Here are my strengths. I know I really need to work on this aspect of my performance." So it's in my case, we all have egos, and hopefully they're healthy. But I really try to maintain an outlook that the pursuit of my work is a relatively egoless endeavor, because I always get better when I'm surrounded by good actors. So the competitiveness is friendly, and the bar is raised, because that bar, the high tide raises all boats. I like being around people who are more talented than I, because it makes me better. And so that's what I would say, is surround yourself with like-minded people, learn from them. If you can find people, it's like I'm a golfer, man. If you can find somebody who can play golf a whole lot better, I get better if I'm around people like that. So find people who are of a like mind, take improv classes, acting classes. If you're a singer, sing. If you're a dancer, dance. Just never be afraid to try stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lastly, if anybody wants to come up to you guys signing autographs or anything today at the con?
We are. Let me look at my little schedule.
We're in the autograph area from 2:30 to whenever we're done. So
2:30 to like 4. I think does the show end at 4 today?
Yeah,
5?
4.
So we'll be there until they tell us we got to go to the plane. But 2:30 down in the autograph area. And whether or not you come and purchase an autograph or whatever, please just come and say hi. You do not have to buy anything. You guys have been incredibly generous to us for many, many years just by watching and paying attention, and we are very grateful to be here. If you want to come down just to say hi, please do, and thank you so much.
But if you want to buy something, you absolutely can.
Lastly, how do we follow you on social media?
Okay.
Thank you.
He is at Yakko Pinky, that's 2 Ks.
YAKKOPINKY.
And I am at Maurice LaMarche, MauriceLamarche, no space in between. And that's on Twitter, and you can friend me on Facebook or follow me on Facebook. And don't bother with my Instagram account, because I have 2 pictures I don't do Instagram, but
I'm on Instagram at Rob_Paulson.
and Maurice_LaMarche, if you like to look at my 2 pictures.
We'll fire up his Instagram.
One of me with Peter Mayhew, actually all of us with Peter
Yeah.
Mayhew, and another one of me standing outside the Simpsons recording studio. There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, give yourselves a round of applause for being here.
Thank you.
This has been Pinky and the Brain. Give it up for Rob Paulson and then Maurice LaMarche.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you, guys.